Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Oh, Tom, what's wrong? You sound like you're in pain.
I'm going to have to forfeit today's lesson. I'm going to have to find a substitute because I got a nasty pain in my leg. I think it's a cramp. And I don't know why I've got this cramp. Where do these cramps come from? I guess I need to kind of massage my leg a little bit to feel
I
better.
can tell you. You've been doing a lot of squats lately, which is an exercise, where you kind of pretend you're sitting down halfway in a chair. And I think you've done too many.
Yeah.
And sometimes our muscles, they get upset because we are misusing them or we're over-exercising. That's probably the problem.
Yeah, this massaging here seems to help. I've also got a hot pad here.
Oh, that's good.
I think I'll put that on there. That seems to help. But indeed, I think a lot of us have had a similar experience. We've experienced these muscle cramps. That's when your muscles contract in any part of your body. I've had them in my legs before.
Mostly in my calf, though, below the knee.
Yeah, it seems like it's always there. I also get them in my feet sometimes, and then sometimes I get them in my fingers. Sometimes my thumb just bends inward or something.
I never get that.
Yeah, I get that sometimes with my thumbs.
But my feet get those cramps.
Yeah,
and
those
hurts.
really hurt,
I have to get up out of bed and jump on my feet.
I usually walk around and stuff like that. Try to expand the muscle or stretch it or something.
It out.
And that usually does the trick, but it might come back.
Yeah.
But that is the subject of today's lesson in our health unit, the nightmare of muscle cramps. So we're going to find out what this is all about right now. So let's read through the entire contents of our lesson, and we'll be right back. You're lying in your warm, cozy bed just on the verge of sleep. Your eyes flutter shut as you relax, ready for the dreams that await you. Then, as you're drifting off into slumber, your right calf muscle contracts involuntarily. You groan in misery as the intense pain throbs in your leg. What is this nightmare, and why, oh why, is it happening to you? You're experiencing a muscle cramp, and unfortunately, it's quite common. During the spasm, the muscle tightens unexpectedly, and it can take from a few seconds to 15 minutes to relax again. Moreover, until the contraction eases off, there's nothing you can do to control the muscle. Things go from bad to worse, though, as no one is fully able to explain why muscle cramps occur. One theory suggests the cramps are triggered by an excessive strain on the muscle, while another points to restricted blood flow to the muscle. The leading theory, however, is that the cramp is due to abnormal nerve activity. Nerves within the muscle monitor the body's movement. To protect the muscle from damage, the nerves send reflex signals, which could either tell the muscle to contract or relax. If the balance between the signals is disrupted, the contraction signal could overpower the relaxation one and result in a painful spasm. Some doctors recommend lightly stretching the muscle to alleviate the pain. Gently massaging the muscle during and after the spasm could also be beneficial. Applying heat to the cramped muscle may aid in relaxation as well. Furthermore, some research has shown that adding magnesium to your diet may lessen the occurrence of cramps over time. Though these treatments won't cure you of the dreaded Charlie horse forever, they will certainly bring you some much-needed relief.
Let's take a look at the title of our article first, guys. We're calling these muscle cramps a nightmare. A nightmare can actually be a bad dream that you have while you're asleep, but it can also mean a really bad experience. For example, maybe you had a bad day at work and you could say, oh, I had a nightmare day at work, or that date last night with John was a nightmare, was awful. So having muscle cramps is no fun, especially if it wakes you up in the middle of your nice slumber while you're sleeping. I get foot cramps more than I used to ever get them before. And one of the things we're going to talk about is how to get rid of the cramps, or at least maybe not have so many of them. And They suggest adding something to your diet. It works. I recommend magnesium.
Magnesium, which is an element. I believe the atomic number is 12, and in Chinese it's Mei, with a 金字边 and 美丽的美.
And
magnesium.
You can just simply eat more bananas. That helps.
Okay, I'll do that. I like bananas.
I
like to pretend that I am a monkey. Okay, but in any case here, yes, we're talking about muscle cramps. Sometimes these are referred to as muscle spasms, and the word spasm does occur in our article later on, so we'll explain it again when we come to it. But these are cramps. Basically, they're contractions of the muscle, which we'll talk about in just a couple of seconds. Now, here's a possible situation for you.
Okay.
And maybe it's happened to you before. You're lying in your warm, cozy bed just on the verge of sleep. Yes, it's January right now in the middle of winter, so of course we have those cold nights when you crawl into your bed underneath your quilt and you get nice and warm and cozy. Cozy here means comfortable and usually kind of comfortably warm. You're wearing nice soft clothing or something, or you're in a nice soft bed. You've checked into a nice hotel somewhere and you're going to have a nice cozy sleep because everything is nice and clean and comfortable. And on the verge of something just means you're on the edge of something. You're about to do something.
That's right. You're on the verge or on the edge of going to sleep.
Or sometimes when I drive in Taipei, I'm on the verge of insanity. Get me out of here. I hate these traffic jams.
Or you might be on the verge of having a nervous breakdown if you're having a bad day. So your eyes are fluttering. If something flutters, it moves quickly back and forth. Think of a butterfly and its wings. They flutter. Or if you're flirting with a guy and you have long eyelashes, you might be fluttering your eyelashes at them. Your eyes are fluttering shut. They flutter as they shut as you relax. So you're ready to go into dreamland. But as you're drifting off into slumber, your right calf muscle contracts involuntarily. Usually we use drift to talk about something that's moving, maybe along in a stream. It's drifting along on top of the water or drifting through the air, moving slowly. If you're drifting off into slumber just means sleep. It just means you're slowly relaxing and little by little you're falling asleep. But just as that happens, your right calf muscle decides to contract.
Contract, and that happens involuntarily. Calf here could refer to a baby cow, but in this particular case, it's your lower leg, especially the back part of your lower leg, or where the muscle and the flesh is. And so that's your right calf muscle. It contracts. This is a verb to contract. That means it kind of pulls together, it shortens, and this can happen involuntarily.
For example, contraction, will and not, or won't. You know, that's a contraction. You take those two words and you put them together and it's shorter. Won't.
All right, to make something shorter or smaller. Yep.
That's a contraction. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And don't confuse that word with contract, which is a noun. Here, the verb is contract. And yes, these are when things get smaller and they become larger. I'm sorry, smaller or shorter. Your muscles are just kind of pulling in. And when you do something involuntarily, you do it, but you don't do it by design, basically.
You don't do it on purpose?
There you go, right, involuntarily. Maybe somebody who has Tourette's syndrome, for example, might say things involuntarily. They might make noises, or they might have muscle spasms. They can't help it, basically. Something's wrong in their brain, basically, and so they're doing this involuntarily. And that's what happens when you have a cramp. Your muscle does this, and you don't do it on purpose.
The next sentence starts out with you groan in misery. It hurts when you have those cramps. I mean, it's not the worst pain in the world, but it's not comfortable. And it will wake you up if you get a muscle cramp. You can't stay asleep. If you groan, you're making this sound in your body. Perhaps you're disappointed or you get some bad news and you go, oh, that's groan. We often use the word, though, to talk about the noise that someone makes when they're in pain. So you groan in misery. Misery, you're really upset. You're not very happy. As the intense pain throbs in your leg. Throb is a word that it's kind of an action word. If something's throbbing, we use it to describe a bad headache. So there's this beat kind of in your head or this pulse that keeps going on, and it's a regular kind of rhythm. So there's this intense pain that throbs in your leg.
Yep, the pain kind of goes woo, 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 sort of like that. It's throbbing in your leg. And yeah, you want to know what this nightmare is. So what is this nightmare? I don't know what this nightmare is. And we're also asking the question, why, oh, why is it happening to me? Yeah, why does this happen to me? Why is it happening to somebody else? I need to get to sleep. I need to get up tomorrow morning. I got a big test. I got to get to work. I got to beat the traffic. I got to find a place to park, stuff like that. So I don't have time for a cramp right now. But here we are in the next paragraph. It says, you're experiencing a muscle cramp. And unfortunately, it's quite common. So here we have the word unfortunately. That means this is something we need to accept. It's something unfortunate. It's something unpleasant, but we still need to accept it. Unfortunately, all of us are going to get sick someday, and all of us are going to die someday, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, during the spasm, that's what we're calling this muscle contraction, the muscle tightens unexpectedly. Tom talked about this word spasm briefly. It's just a sudden, involuntary muscle that's contracting somewhere in your body, spasm. As a joke in elementary school and junior high, you know how kids aren't always nice and we call people names. We would call people that were a little bit, dorky, a little bit uncool. Sometimes we call them a spaz, which is short for spasm. Just because we thought that was funny, but spaz just means this sudden contraction or movement, and it works very well when you're talking about a muscle.
Indeed, and that muscle tightens unexpectedly or involuntarily, and it can last a certain amount of time. It can last from a couple of seconds to 15 minutes, and then the muscle will relax again. I've never had a cramp last that long.
15? No.
That seems kind of extreme, but there are people out there who've probably experienced that. Mine usually lasts about, 30 seconds, a minute or so. Maybe even less if I stretch the muscle out a little bit. Usually not that long.
Yeah, but sometimes I do have to stand up and walk around before it'll stop.
Yeah.
So maybe it would last 15 minutes. I can't take the pain, so I always get up.
Yeah, we got to do something. I don't think I could just sit there and let it happen. Most people couldn't. You got to do something, but... Well, something we're going to do right now is take a little bit of a breather and listen to our Chinese teacher, but please stay tuned. We will be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 今天我们要看的呢是跟抽筋这件事情有关。首先呢，我们来看一下第一个空格的句子，它写着 Your eyes flutter shut as you relax. Blank one for the dreams that await you. 在这里谈论的呢是在那个半梦半醒，眼睛在放松的时候快速的闭合，而怎么样 for the dreams， 然后你正准备呢要来做美梦。第一个空格我们可以选择 H 选项的 ready for something， 代表的呢就是准备迎接某件事情。接着来看到第二个空格，这时候呢脚抽筋了，然后 You groan in blank 2 as the intense pain throbs in your leg. 这一句就是用来描述当你的腿呢这种剧烈的疼痛抽痛着，然后呢你是怎么样的情况之下 groan 在这里是有呻吟的意思。第二个空格我们可以搭配文意，选择 D 选项的 misery。 如果讲到 in misery， 其实就是代表着痛苦的、悲惨的，脚实在太痛了，所以痛苦的叫了出来。第二题的标准答案我们选择 D 选项。那么这呢所谈论的就是抽筋这件事情。第三个空格后半句写着 And unfortunately it's quite blank 3。 我们看到以句型结构来说，这里可以放一个形容词，很不幸的抽筋这件事情呢是相当的怎么样。 第三个空格，根据文意，我们可以选择 I 选项 common 就是代表着常见的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. We're talking about muscle cramps, especially those that happen when you're asleep, which I've discovered is typically when I get those muscle cramps is when I'm asleep. But I get them sometimes when I'm not asleep. I had about 6 months a couple of years ago. I was getting them every day. So I changed my diet, and now I'm better. Because no one wants to wake up when you're sound asleep. Sound asleep means completely asleep. Sound, like sound that we make, singing. So here we are. We're back to talking about how long they last. It can either be a few seconds to 15 minutes for that muscle to relax again. Most of us get up and walk around on the muscle, so it feels better faster. It says, moreover, until the contraction eases off, there's nothing you can do to control the muscle. It's kind of true. Those muscles are acting without your command. You're not doing it to yourself. Your body's doing this on its own. So when something eases off or eases up, you can use up there as a preposition as well. It just means it becomes less and less. So hopefully that's what happens. But until it does ease up or ease off, you just have to put up with it or stand up and walk around.
Yep, indeed. But what's even worse, things go from bad to worse. It's already a bad situation, and now it gets even worse. There's no good news here because no one is fully able to explain why muscle cramps occur. So you're kind of thinking, well, I get muscle cramps. All I got to do is talk to the doctor, and they'll know what the problem is. They'll give me some medicine, or I'll have an operation or something like that. Nope, nobody really knows why we get these muscle cramps. All we have are a bunch of theories.
That's right. Some ideas why you think something's happening. One theory suggests the cramps are triggered by excessive strain. Excessive just means too much. Too much strain. Maybe you're exercising a little bit too hard, or you're not warming up. Sometimes you get cramps if you don't warm up before you jog or walk really quickly. Another theory points to restricted blood flow to the muscle. If something's restricted, it's being stopped from doing what it wants to do or going where it wants to go. So maybe you're not getting enough or blood flowing to the muscle.
I think I like the excessive strain idea because I seem to get cramps when I exercise a part of my body that I haven't exercised in a long time. Like if I start playing the guitar and I haven't played the guitar in several months, I'll probably get some finger cramps as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
That's never happened to me. Excessive, just as an example, sometimes I tend to be an excessive shopper, which means I buy too much. Yeah.
You do?
Yes, I do. Excessive. Also, you'll often see the word excess or excess. If you have excess food, you have too much food. It's left over. But excessive strain means too much or overdoing it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, of course, eat excessive amounts of food during the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Chinese New Year is coming up here soon, so please try to control yourselves. But in any case here, yes, these are two theories. But the leading theory here in the next paragraph, however, is that the cramp is due to abnormal nerve activity. Nerves, of course, are the cables, I guess, in your body that carry signals from your brain to the different parts of your body. And if something is abnormal, it's unusual, it's not behaving the way it's supposed to.
So those nerves within the muscle, they monitor or check out. They're keeping an eye on the body's movement. To protect the muscle from damage, the nerves send reflex signals. Oh, that's interesting. A signal is any sort of clue or piece of information that tells somebody what they need to do. A signal can be a gesture, like doing the okay sign tells people you're okay, not to worry. It could be a sound. sound that you make. When we hear a signal of the ambulance, we know to move over so they can go ahead really quickly. So these nerves send reflex signals, which could either tell the muscle to relax or contract.
Indeed, and of course, we're always checking our signal strength on our phones.
Right.
How strong is the Wi-Fi here? How is my 4G signal here?
Yeah.
And of course, these are nerve signals in the muscle. They're reflex signals, which tell it to contract or to relax. And if the balance between the signals is disrupted or if it's interrupted for some reason or another, the contraction signal could overpower the relaxation one. And the result is a painful spasm. So we've got two different kinds of signals, to contract or to relax, okay? To have tension or to not have tension. Relaxation means there's no tension. Everything is soft and not moving and not contracted. Of course, the verb for that is to relax. If you want to sleep, of course, you need to relax. And, every weekend we hope that you can have some rest and relaxation.
Or, as we often say, some R&R, because Americans in particular like to keep it short. So some doctors recommend lightly stretching the muscle to alleviate the pain. This word alleviate, guys, is a verb. It means to make some sort of suffering less severe, less painful. In fact, there is a medicine, over-the-counter medicine in America called Aleve. They've taken that verb and made it into something they could use for their brand name. And Aleve helps muscles that are tired, actually. That's what it's for.
Well, maybe I'll try that next time.
Yeah, Aleve's great.
Yeah.
It's ibuprofen. So gentle massaging, if you massage, you just take your hands and just rub pretty hard over the muscle during and after the spasm can also help, can also be beneficial. I agree with that.
Sounds reasonable to me. So, of course, that's what doctors recommend. Stretching to alleviate the pain, to massage the muscle, and that might help. Now, applying heat to the cramped muscle may aid in relaxation as well. Like I just did, I put a heat pad up to my cramped leg there, and it seemed to do the trick. So that is heat there. And furthermore, or in addition, also, some research has shown that adding magnesium to your diet may lessen the occurrence of cramps over time. And evidently, we have a clinical case study here.
Me.
Right in the studio
That's
here.
Me.
You said that you added magnesium to your diet. And that has lessened the occurrence of those cramps. You don't have as many as you used to, right?
No, they stopped. I was having them almost every night. So that magnesium helped. If you have a banana handy, it's got some magnesium in it.
Okay.
So take care of your vitamins and minerals.
Bananas sound pretty tasty at this particular juncture. And let's move on now to the final sentence here. It says, though these treatments won't cure you of the dreaded Charlie horse forever, they will certainly bring you some much-needed relief. So, yeah, even though these treatments aren't going to cure you because we really don't know what causes cramps, and you're probably still going to get them, and these are dreaded or the dreaded Charlie horse. Dreaded means it's something you're scared of, that you don't want to influence your life or to affect you in any way. And Charlie horse, that's kind of interesting. I guess cramps could be referred to as a Charlie horse.
Oh, you never said Charlie horse growing up?
Well, we did, but we always used it to refer to when somebody hits you in a part of your leg that causes extra pain. Like if they hit you just above the knee, they'd say, I'm going to give you a Charlie horse. Oh, that hurts. Why did you do that?
See, we used it differently. You know how when you're growing, your legs ache at night because the bone's growing?
Growing pains.
My mom would come in and give us leg rubs.
Okay.
But sometimes that would be a Charlie horse. But sometimes my brother would kick my calf muscle from behind. That's a Charlie horse.
Anytime, I guess, when you have some kind of pain in your leg, whether it's from a cramp or somebody kicking you, that could be referred to as a Charlie horse. And, of course, some of these suggestions, these treatments might give you some relief. And so we wish you the best of luck with that. And without any further explanation, I think we can just listen to our Chinese teacher again now. So let's do that.
接着我们来看到第4个空格的句子 Moreover, until the contraction eases off, there's blank 4 you can do to control the muscle. 那么再者呢，直到这样的收缩呢消退的时候 there's 怎么样 you can do to control the muscle. 其实啊，那么抽筋一发生，实在是你也没有办法做什么事情来控制你的肌肉，所以搭配文意第4个空格可以选择 A 选项的 nothing. You can do nothing, 也就是你没有办法做什么事情 to control the muscle. 第5个空格 One theory suggests the cramps are blank 5 by an excessive strain on the muscle. 在这里谈到抽筋的发生，有一种理论是说，这种抽筋这种抽痛呢，是因为过度的 strain on the muscle, 因为肌肉过度的拉紧而所引发的。第5个空格搭配文意，我们可以选择 E 选项的 trigger 就是有触发引发，正因为肌肉太紧了，所以才会引发抽筋的现象。第6个空格 Nerves within the muscle monitor the body's blank 6. 事实上呢，在这里谈到的是肌肉中的神经 nerves, 它是负责 monitor监控着身体的什么呢？第6个空格可以选择 J 选项的 movement, 在这里解释成为动作或者是活动，由这些神经呢来发出讯号。接着第7个空格提到If the balance between the signals is blank 7, 那么万一呢这样子的讯号当中的平衡被怎么样，那么就会造成后面的这种抽筋的状况，当然是因为讯号的平衡被中断被打乱了，所以第7个空格可以选择 B 选项的 disrupted。 Disrupt 本来就是有中断混乱，这样的平衡被混乱了，所以就有抽筋的现象。第8个空格，这时候发生了该怎么办？可以怎么样减轻疼痛呢？这时候如果在抽筋发生的当下，或者是之后，可以轻轻的来呢按摩一下这样的肌肉，可以是怎么样？ Could also be blank 8。be 动词后面可以搭配形容词，我们可以选择 F 选项的 beneficial， 解释成为有益的。接着第9个空格 Furthermore, some research has shown that adding magnesium to your diet may lessen the blank 9 of cramps over time.当然咯，如果在饮食当中加入镁这样子的矿物质，就可以减轻抽筋发生的什么呢？当然就是它发生的次数，所以在这里搭配文意，第9题可以选择 G 选项的 occurrence， 也就是有发生的意思。最后一个第10个空格，我们来看一下后半句 They will certainly bring you some much needed blank 10. 如果你照着刚刚的做，那么呢这样子一做就一定可以让你呢有怎么样很需要的什么事情呢？第10个空格可以选择 C 选项的 relieve， 就是有讲疼痛的舒缓减轻的意思。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That is it for today's lesson. Thank you for attending our class today. We hope that you've learned lots of new words and phrases in the English language, which will help advance your careers, and in the future, you will make a lot of money because of us. Okay, and from all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.